Hi friends, MagicBrad, SynergyCafe, and the Synergy Collaborative. You have your coffee today, your beverage of choice. I've got a new friend I met, and we just had a little chat earlier, and we've got a lot of things in common. So, is he there, Mr. Harris?
I am here, Mr. Brad.
I didn't ask you, how do you say your last name? Is it Glosser or Glasser or Glacer?
Glass, like glass with an ER.
Got it. That's easy enough to remember.
They call me other things. We won't go there, though.
Well, yeah, we will. What do they call you? They
Oh,
call you the financial guru. They call you the Tony Robbins in New York or something. I
oh
don't know.
my God.
So let's get into this. I just asked some basic questions about who you are, what do you do, where do you do it, and we get to know who you are. And then I pop this
Okay.
out to the internet, and then we'll get into talking about money because that's what you know about. You've got a book and
Money.
some stuff.
Money,
So who's
yes.
Harris? He's got a wife and kids, and who are you?
Two sons, a 46 and 48-year-old, three lovely granddaughters. Granddaughters are great. Uh,
Wait a minute, 46 and 48.
yeah, my two sons.
So what did you
Yes.
do? You start when you're like six or something? You
No,
don't
my
look
wife
that.
and I, like I said, we just came back from Europe and we just had our 51st anniversary.
But you don't look like you're 50. I'm
Thank,
57, but you look about my. You can't be like
thank you.
70, are you?
No, 71 to be
Get
exact.
out of here.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. It's just people invest in money, they invest in stocks, they invest in real estate. The best investment is in yourself. It's the biggest payoff.
Okay, well, let's migrate right into that. That's kind of what you do is you teach people about money.
Right. But it's an interesting thing. Different people have given me different feedback on the book. And one person said to me, read the book front to back, even though it wasn't intended to do that. He said, "You know what it's about?" I said, "Do tell." He said, you are using money in business and in personal life as a vehicle to teach people to stand up for themselves and not be intimidated." I said, "That's exactly right." And it's
That's
funny,
very
we're talking
interesting.
about the martial arts. It's all about, you know, inner strength, an inner
It's interesting
place.
because people are very intimidated when you say how much money do you have in the bank. It's kind of like, well, that's none of your business.
I know. And it's also we're intimidated by everything's measured by the size. Bigger is better, more is better. And when you have less and you don't not living up to those standards, you feel smaller and intimidated and not as big on yourself as you should be feeling.
You're keeping up
So,
with the Joneses kind of thing. You compare, well, they've got a swimming pool, we should get a swimming pool. They've got a motor home, we should get a motor home. That kind of thing.
you know, uh, I came home one day and my son, he was sitting there really upset. I said to him, he was in high school. I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "Oh, the coach bowled us out." I said, "What?" He said, "On the soccer team, we lost the game and he bowled us out." And I said, "Tell you," and we lost. That we lost. So I said, "Tell you what, tell me what it is that you lost. I'll give it back to you. And this way you don't have to be upset." I said, "Did you have a good time running around and kicking and whatever you do in the soccer field?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, you didn't win. You didn't lose. You won." And then the next day, I went to the school to see the coach. I said to him, "Don't you go laying a trip on my son that winning is about the higher number on the scoreboard. Okay? That's not winning. Winning is having a good time, being happy, and enjoying yourself. Okay?" And so I brought my children up with it's not about the size of things. It's not about the bigger income, the bigger house, the bigger car. It's about the bigger you. How are you feeling all the time? And it's funny, that's what this fellow read into the book about standing up for yourself, not being intimidated, being a larger
See,
person.
it's interesting. Back to the martial arts thing. My teacher told me that there is only first place. There's no such thing as second place. You don't get second place. You just get first place. And I thought, well, that sucks because then there's only one person going to have any fun.
Oh, it's funny. I was taking it as a different way. That's so bizarre. That's correct. That's what he was saying. And I was looking at it as there is only one place, and we're all in that place. We're always in first place.
Sure.
each and
So
every
no,
one of
that's my
us.
thing with the magic is it's all about perception. It's either an illusion or it's real, and sometimes you can't tell the difference. And it's all point of view. It's like money is just a byproduct of energy. That's all it really is. It's just a measurement device.
That's right. And it has nothing to do with your degree of happiness, except if you want to use that as a ruler for your own happiness, you're in trouble. You have a problem. So, what I try and teach people to do in my book, and by the way, can I show you a picture of the
Sure.
book?
Yeah. See it.
Okay, here it is.
Here it is. It's
It's
it's my money, and I want it.
right. And it's not about getting rich, and it's not about staying home and earn six-figure income and sitting in a chair. No, it's about right now with the paycheck that you take home, right? How you could have more, do more, enjoy more, learning how to utilize and use it. And I'm not talking about budgeting. It would blow you away, Brad. People give me feedback about, well, Pim Fox on Bloomberg introduced me as the man who teaches us how to squeeze more juice out of our orange. And that's what it is. In I have a granddaughter, and she very smart, and she helped edit some of the book. And in she went to her high school teacher, who gave her an A minus, and she thought she was entitled to an A, and she fought for it, and they did a thing, and she got it. She got the higher grade. And I said to her, Casey, you got it. It's my money and I want it. It's not about the money. It's about you stood up for yourself and you won the point. And even if you didn't, it didn't matter. The fact was you stood up for yourself.
Sure. And you can kind of give yourself your own grade. Just
Just
because
for
he's the
st-
teacher doesn't mean he knows how to grade.
Oh, that's a whole other thing. There was once a book, The Only Dance There Is by Ram Dass. He, back in the 70s, was the go-between between East and West. As Eastern stuff was coming here. And one of the things in his book was great. He said the classroom is only as high as the highest being in the classroom. And it's not necessarily the teacher. But anyway, yes, Brad, it's mind-boggling how we don't know in just small ways. A friend of mine who lives in Manhattan, and he got after a year or 2 years, what it is, got a notice from the landlord that the rent is being increased X amount of dollars. And he says, I know what Harris would do. He said, I called him up, and he said, I know rents are going up, economic time, The bottom line was they changed the increase. They reduced the increase by $25 a month. Now, all it took was a 5-minute conversation on the phone, and he has $300 a year left in his checkbook, more that he wouldn't have had. I can take you through stories, and that's just small. I could take you through big things uh, that we just accept when we're told something. I walked in. Oh, you see the headsets I'm wearing?
I do.
I walked into PC Richard. It goes back last year, and they showed me two headsets. One was $29.99. One was $59.99. I said, "What's the difference?" He told me, and I said, "This has all the bells and whistles." I said, "Seems like a great one, but let me get back to you. I'm just gonna, check around." That's all I had to do was say, "I'm gonna check it out." He says, "The $59.99. I'll give it to you for the $29.99." I didn't say anything. I didn't bargain. It was $30. But I can break this story into the thousands and the tens of thousands. I'm just giving you in small ways every day, from our checkbook, our credit card, the cash in our pocket. We spend money. And before we spend money on a big item, let's say, a house, a car, or whatever, we look at it 90 different ways. But every day, the ones, the fives, the tens, the 20s, we don't even think about. And I'll tell you this: I have a friend of mine, very close friend. In fact, is he designed the cover on the book, and he knew what I was going to be saying on the show I was going to be on. He said, Harris, please don't take my one pleasure away from me. I know you. I know what you're going to be saying. And what it was I said, I have a close friend of mine. Every morning, he and his wife, they go down to Starbucks. They pick up their Starbucks, $3.50 each, whatever. Maybe a little piece of pastry, I don't know. And at the end of 5, 6 days, that's it's $45 or so that they spent. I said to me, I have my cup of water in the house. Like, all right. At the end of the year, that $2,500, I'm going to Aruba for 10 days. So see, it's how we use our money, in what ways we use our money. So I said to them, I won't take your pleasure. You enjoy it. I,
It is up to the individual of what they pay for. Because I don't like stuff, but experience. If I go to Starbucks, I want to have the nice one with. I don't give me one for there with the nice swirls on it and stuff. Don't put that cap on there and screw up the art.
right,
So it
right,
depends
right.
on what you
Yeah,
want. I like to spend on, like you say, vacations and stuff where you can experience it and you remember it and that kind
right.
of thing, rather than a new watch or something like that. It's a
Yes,
different. So it's up to the individual. But I wanted to ask you another thing, that some of what you're talking about is you have a job and you've got X amount of money that's got a cap on it. What about the
right.
person that's self-employed, where they've got the ability to make considerably more, or it's more work and they don't make very much? But what about the self-employed person, where you really can't really, you don't know what you're making next month?
Here's a beautiful story. I had a car rental place. I opened it with my sons. And we started with 4 cars, and about a year and a half, we were up to 70 vehicles, right? That's a lot of work. Daily car rentals, in, out, craziness. Figured out a way. We're able to reduce the seven. And Chrysler, we had a new fleet every year. Chrysler's pushing us to get towards 100. I said no. I figured out a way with my sons, and it was a great experience for them, how to reduce. It was actually 80 vehicles, 78, 80 vehicles to 50 vehicles. Work less, made more money. Okay? I can go into the details how. I don't think that's important.
Well, I totally understand. Like, a lot of times people say, well, to get more business, you reduce your price and you get more business. Well, it might be the other way around. You just add more value, they'll pay more money, you got less clients, making more money, more free time.
You should be sneaking past her to get to them. What's wrong with you? You're sneaking past the money. Duh. Well, needless to say, it was that perspective, that change. They're very wealthy. They deal only with big money, big clients. Don't work much, because when you're selling a $15,000 set of earrings instead of $25, always good. And I got to throw in, it's harrishelps.org. Harrishelps.org. It's my money and I want it. And that's what you're going to walk away is with some of these stories and lessons.
Perfect. I had one quick question. Do you do like events and workshops and seminars and speaking engagements, things like that?
No, I used to help a lot of people one on one, people with collection companies, people with debts, people in business. Like, I mentioned, some stories. Yeah, and I've never done it. And actually, my sons have pushed me to do that. They said, you have to speak to a large audience.
And do you want to?
It's nice helping people. I just,
So it'd be kind of cool to be able to set something like that up, maybe a retreat on how to keep your money. You do the retreat in Fiji or Bali or something. You might do that, wouldn't you?
yes, yes. Even right here in New York, that is true. I would like to do that. I just haven't gotten to it because life is
Okay.
busy. Radio shows. I did Europe for 3 weeks.
Well, we're
Enjoying
up.
life.
We're off at 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut it off here. But I appreciate you taking the time. If you want to stick around, we'll do a little more chit chat. So
Okay.
thanks for taking the time, Harris. Peace, love, and happiness. Be well.
Peace. Be well.